We are back yet again for another video on operations of integers. In this one, what we're going to talk about is multiplication and division of integers. Now, multiplication and division is something you've been doing for quite a while. So what we're going to be focusing on is when we have negatives in there. So let's take a look at an example, one that you should be familiar with, something as simple as 5 times 3. So it says that we have 5 groups of 3. So we have 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups, 4 groups, and 5 groups. I promise that this won't be just a review of multiplication. So now let's see if we were to add all of these up. Let's say that these are 5 people with $3 each. Okay, so there's a total of $15 in this group. Okay, so now let's say that that same group owed $3. So they bought something and we need to see how much money. So now all of these are, this is all the money that they are giving. So this is $3 here, $3 here. Okay, we could go through and fill all that out. But when we add this all up, what we're really getting is they owe $15. So the application that we have here is exactly the same here. So when we have a positive and we multiply it by a negative, we come out with a negative solution. And we notice here that when we have a positive times a positive, we get a positive. Now, the one that a lot of people struggle with, and it makes sense, is this idea of having 2 negatives multiplied by each other. So let's say we have -4 times a -3. Now, it's important that we do not get this rule mixed up with our addition rule. Multiplication and division are 2 very different things compared to the addition and subtraction rules that we have. So really what we see here is that we have an opposite of the group. So let me explain this. Let's look at it first as 4 times a -3. So we have 4 groups of -3. I don't know why I chose -3 again, but it did. So we're dealing with it. So we have 4 groups of -3 each. So all together we could say -$12. I like to think in terms of money. It just seems to make sense. But then this sign here is saying that pretty much we have the opposite of the -$12. So we're actually not going to owe $12, but we are actually going to have the $12. So in a sense, it's the opposite of the 4 groups of 3. And the basic rule then comes out to be a negative times a negative is a positive. And I'll write that here for you. So a negative times a negative is a positive. And what we then can conclude is that if we have the same sign here in terms of they're both positive or they're both negative, okay, we are going to come out with a positive solution. If we have a different sign, so one being positive, one being negative, then we are going to come out with a negative solution. Now, this rule applies not only to multiplication, but also to division, which seems to make sense because they're kind of there are inverses of each other. So let's take a quick look at division. Let's say we have $20 that we owe, and there are 4 people in the group that we need to divide this up by. So what we can say is really 20 divided by 4, that doesn't change, which is 5, and it goes in evenly. And then if we owe a total of $20 and it's divided up among 4 people, then everybody owes $5. Or you could then say the sign is different, so whatever we're coming out with is going to be negative. Okay, and one other example, let's say we have negative $100 and we are dividing it by negative 25. So really the opposite of dividing by 25. That came out confusing, I apologize. But let's just take a look at it. So we have 100 divided by 25. So 25, there's 4 quarters in a dollar, or 4 25s in 100. And so it goes in evenly. Now we can apply this same sign is positive. And so since these are the same sign, dividing a negative by negative comes out to be a positive. Or we could say that negative 100 divided by 25, everybody owes $4, but then to look at the opposite of that would be that everybody gets $4, which I would prefer that. So that's all I have for this video. Hopefully this was helpful. If you have any questions, you can comment below, and thank you for watching.